Hello everyone, today we will be reacting to a video called Filipino Professor Reveals the Genius of the Filipino. And this is a video uploaded by the amazing YouTube channel, The Filipino Story Studio. I think that every Filipino out there and everybody out there that's interested by the Philippines and Filipinos should definitely subscribe to this channel. Let me tell you what they are about. The Filipino Story is a community that celebrates the beauty, the genius, and the spirit of the Filipino. We exist to awaken the next generation of Bayani, to reclaim the greatness of our people. The anchor of this community is a 6-episode animated series that starts your journey to discovering who you truly are. You should watch those episodes. They are beautifully animated. This is a gift meant to be shared with family and friends with the goal of uplifting the global Filipino nation. And it is a Filipina that is extremely dear to me that suggested this channel to me, and I instantly fell in love with it. So, are you excited for this reaction? Because I am. But before we start, maligayang pagbabalik sa akin channel. Ako po si Ovela. I'm a sound engineer, beatmaker, and content creator on YouTube, and I am ecstatic to be reacting to this video with you today. Without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Filipinos do not realize that Filipino culture is one of the greatest, I'm very serious about it, one of the greatest in the world.
It would be a shame if Filipinos did not realize that, because foreigners...
I am Felipe De Leon Jr.
Foreigners do, I think, you know, and I consider myself one of those foreigners that do notice how great Filipino culture is, and that's one of the reasons why I'm considering strongly moving to the Philippines.
Been studying Filipino culture since the 60s. I've been to many parts of the Philippines trying to understand who we are and understand how Filipinos can be their better selves. At the very core,
I cannot wait to see these festivals.
Highly relational people wanting to connect all kinds of people in all.
I think that's the founder of this whole thing, you know, dancing, hey.
Levels, young and old, whether you are educated or not, from the poorest to the richest, Filipinos would like to bring people together. That's the very core of Filipino culture, a high degree of relationality,
absolutely,
connectivity.
Yeah.
This has to do with the
community.
Kapwa. Kapwa means the other person is also yourself. Filipinos believe that they have no separate existence.
That's beautiful.
They're all one. That's the meaning of Kapwa.
That's
Every
beautiful.
person's responsibility is not only to himself, but to others.
Kapwa.
That's why, according to Claude Tayag, a culinary expert, our culture has no recipe for a single person. It's always a recipe for 6 to 10 people, because we expect food to be shared. That's why any chance upon the family is having dinner, you will always be invited to share the dinner with them. In
absolutely.
a fiesta, even if you are not invited, you enter any house where there is food. Pakikipagkapwa is the basis of this, because in an individualistic culture, a person
Wait. I have to pronounce that.
Pakikipagkapwa is the basis.
My God. Pakikipagkapwa. He said it so fast. Pakikipagkapwa. 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 There you go.
This, because in an individualistic culture, a person feels separate from others, and therefore there's no natural responsibility for everyone to serve.
It's so
in
sad.
a materialistic culture, where people are confined to their physical selves, you don't see yourself connected to others, because connectedness has to do with a spiritual belief, no? That the Spirit of God connects us all to one another. So this is the very essence of Filipino culture, a culture of sharing.
Oh, this hits hard and very close to home, guys. I think that I also connected this strongly with the Philippines and Filipinos, even before I visited the Philippines, because I think, in a way, I started feeling this individualism and materialistic world that I've been living in for almost 20 years now in North America. And I miss the strong connection with people and communities, you know.
A culture that would like to bring people together.
Look at how beautiful that is. The music is beautiful.
Our language has been with us since around 2,500 years ago. We were already Filipinos, even though we were not called Filipinos at that time. We were Austronesians. All our languages came from one island in Taiwan, and it's not Chinese, it's a Southeast Asian archipelago. A Southeast Asian place with at least 9 ethnic groups. And one ethnic group there was our ancestors. This ethnic group went down from Taiwan to Batanes, to the rest of Luzon, down to the Visayas, Mindanao, and Indonesia, Malaysia. So the languages of Indonesia and Malaysia came from us. We even brought these languages to the Pacific, Micronesia, Melanesia, Polynesia, as far as Easter Island and Hawaii. And they brought these languages even to the west in Madagascar, Africa. That's why if you go to Madagascar, Africa, they speak a language similar to Ilocano, Tagalog, Kapampangan. It's called Malagasy. And that
Malagasy.
time alone, no, we were already.
By the way, I've spent a whole month in Madagascar when I was 18 years old. It was for school, you know.
Highly relational because our language shaped us. We shape our language and the language in turn shapes us. Filipino languages are the most highly relational of all the Austronesian languages.
Ilocano.
We have the highest number of conjugations. How many conjugations are possible in English? The word to eat. Eat, eating, ate, eaten. What else? I suppose you can have at most 12 conjugations of one word or one verb in English, but not more than 12. What about kain? The Tagalog word for eat.
Oh boy, here we go.
Hour,
oh my God.
100 conjugations of kain. Kain na tayo.
But he is saying it as if it's a good thing, you know, to have 12 conjugations for one word. I don't know, man. I prefer when the language is simple, you know, so that it's easier for us to speak it, and it's easier for many people to speak it so that they could communicate, you know. I mean, English is the international language, I think, for many reasons, but I think one of those reasons is that it's a language that's pretty easy to learn and to speak.
Kain, nagsikain, napakain, palakain, ikain mo ko, nagkainan.
It's very confusing,
no?
to be honest.
What does that mean? That means we are highly relational. From the very beginning, we're already highly relational. Because every conjugation is a kind of relationship. Magsikain tayo, all of us, let's go together and eat. No? O ikain mo ko, do the eating for me. That's another kind of relation. No? Napakain, well, I was compelled to eat because others were eating. Oh, that's another kind of relation. That's every conjugation is a relationship. Also, another thing, look at our languages. It has very fine nuances for relationships. I don't know of any single word in English that refers to a group action. A verb like magsilabas. Magsilabas, all of you go out. Magkainan tayo, together let's eat. I don't know any word in English, any verb in English that refers to a collective action. This collective action, that means this is highly relational again. And that's in the language, so much in the language. Nagkainisan, magkasing
It's a communal
ganda,
society.
magkasing pangit. When you're magkasing ganda, you're equally beautiful, magkasing pangit, you're equally ugly. There's no translation in English. These are verbs, adjectives that are mutually reciprocal, connecting people to one another. There's none of that in English, as far as I know. So we can see our relationality in our language, but we can also see it in our geography. People say that we're a divided country because we're an archipelago, but the truth is really different. People who live in a landmass rather than an archipelago will even be more divided if this landmass is so mountainous.
Is that
Baguio?
Baguio?
That is just one landmass. It's where people will be so extremely divided. Because it's mountains that divide. How can you easily go from one side of the mountain to the other side of the mountain? It might take you days before you can go to the other side. But people in a short time learn to cross from one island to the other through water. Especially because of our origin from Taiwan, no? We really cross islands. And our ancient prowess in maritime navigation really made us very, very skilled in water. The Filipinos, all over the world, were master navigators on the sea. So, if you go to the Philippines, you will find that any two islands separated by water will speak the same language because we are connected by water and divided by mountains. Look at Negros. Negros is divided by Mount Canlaon. The side that faces Iloilo speaks Ilonggo. The side that faces Cebu speaks Cebuano. Masbate, the one that faces Leyte Samar speaks Waray. The one that faces Bicol speaks Bicolano, and so on. This is true anywhere in the country. If two islands are separated by water, they are more unified. So it's not true that we are divided because we are an archipelago. In fact, we are more united because of being an archipelago.
Makes sense.
And so, because of our highly relational culture, our creative genius was able to flourish within the traditional Filipino cultures. And that's because in traditional cultures, the sense of community is very, very strong. This is the norm in all of our traditional societies. If there is a very strong sense of community, you feel more relaxed. You don't feel any tension, no? Now, the more relaxed you are, the more open you are, the more you are you, the more you can bring out who you really are. You become more.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this video is showing us the good side of the Philippines and the Filipinos. But because he is saying that because the Philippines is a society where relations are very strong, so a relational society, I'd like to call it a communal society, there is also a bad side to it because he said that will trigger people to be themselves, right? And relaxed. But because they are relaxed, they can be too relaxed. And one of the things that I hear, one of the complaints that, comes to me from Filipinos is that Filipinos, especially men, Filipino men, are very lazy, and maybe that stems from the fact that they are too relaxed, and being lazy is not necessarily a good thing. So you always have to find the right balance.
Expressive. You become more artistic.
More
you become
artistic.
A natural artist. That's why in our traditional cultures, everybody is an artist.
Oh yes,
Almost
Filipinos
no
are artists.
No matter
for
what
sure.
the work is of a person, you can be sure that he's doing some kind of art. Why? Because the more close you are to one another, the more you would like to understand and do what others can do. If you are very close to the farmer, you will learn farming. If you are very close to the carpenter, you will learn carpentry. If you are very close to the arbolario, you will learn traditional medicine. If you are close to your mother, you will learn how she cooks. So closeness to one another makes you learn so many things as you grow up. This is the reason why the Filipinos are so versatile, multi-talented.
Yeah, definitely
Simply
why they
because
sing.
When you are one with the community and you like to relate to everybody, you have to know what others are doing. How can you be so close if you are only a very narrow specialist? For example, I can cite the example of Samaon Sulaiman, who was one of the awardees for the National Living Treasures Award in the Philippines called Manlilikhanang Bayan. Well, just like any male in Maguindanao society or even female, almost anybody can play the kutiapi. But Samaon Sulaiman happened to be the best. But do you know that he is not only the best in that instrument, he is also the favorite barber in his town.
Nice.
And also a Muslim imam or a priest. But he was also a very good farmer. Because he grew up in such an environment where
Yeah, because
everybody
he's
is
from
multi-skilled.
Mindanao.
And if you are really so relaxed, you can easily learn other skills. Because you will have no difficulty learning anything if you are doing
He's
it
got
in
a special technique
In a
to
spirit
play
of
his
play,
instruments.
everything becomes so easy. That's the reason, no? Our sense of community, which makes us very multi-talented. My Filipino dream is for Filipinos to be educated in their culture. Filipinos do not realize that Filipino culture is one of the greatest in the world because of the philosophy of Kapwa. If we are one, we have a shared responsibility for one another. This is a very profound philosophy. A shared responsibility is not dog-eat-dog attitude. It's not survival of the fittest. It's not ruthless competition. It's cooperation, collaboration, harmony.
Yeah,
Do you know
Kapwa.
how the world has survived? How humanity has survived? According to anthropology, we have survived because of cooperation rather than competition.
Yeah.
That's the way of life. If there's no harmony on Earth, no species would have survived.
competition should be left for entertainment purposes only, and only when it's healthy competition, you know, when it's, you know, like, I don't know, sport, basketball, NBA, soccer, whatever.
Right. We have to emphasize that. But our culture is based on cooperation, harmony, bayanihan, doing things together for the common good. This is who Filipinos are, but Filipinos don't realize this. The more we realize it, the better for not only us, but the better for the world, because we can promote.
You know, they may not realize it, but I feel like it's already engraved in them. That's what I felt, you know, when I visited the Philippines. They don't necessarily talk about the fact that they have this word, Kapwa, and that they live in a very harmonious and relational society, but they act like it because it's already engraved in them, you know?
Our culture everywhere. And we can be very proud of being Filipino.
Oh,
now,
yes, they
Filipinos
are.
are not very proud of who they are, simply because they don't know they are. Secondly, I'd like Filipinos to discover how different.
Well, you know what? I am trying with this channel and by reacting to videos like this to show Filipinos that they should be proud of themselves. Filipinos, and I'm talking about Filipinos that aren't necessarily proud of themselves, you know. Lately, I've been, you know, diversifying my YouTube channel portfolio and not just reacting to music for many reasons. And one of those reasons is this, so that Filipinos all over the world can discover the beauty of their country, you know, and their people. Because me, as a foreigner, I've seen it. I have felt it. So it makes sense that Filipinos, you know, who don't necessarily recognize that, you know? Like, it should be logical to them. If foreigners can see it, then we should be able to see it too, you know? And, you know, that's one of my goals. You know, if I actually go live in the Philippines, I would I think people are going to be, like, Filipinos will sense it when they talk to me, that I am a fan, legit fan of the Philippines and Filipinos. I don't like to say in general that I am a fan of artists, you know, because artists are just regular people, just like us. And I think when you use a term like idol or a fan, you like put them on a pedestal. But I can actually permit myself to say that I'm a fan of the Philippines and its culture and traditions and Filipinos. But when I say Filipinos, you know, I'm talking about all the people, meaning what I'm really saying is that it's deeper than that. You know, I'm not like a fan of a specific person. So it's okay to be a fan of a population, you know?
We are from one another. The first one is how we are one, no? But the second is our diversity. We have at least 131 languages in this country. Because the older a society is, the more languages it has. A young society will not have its own languages. Singapore, Australia, Canada, they still use English or French because they are new societies.
Exactly.
That means if we have 131 languages, that means we are a very old culture. We are at least 50,000 years old. We are a new nation, but we are a very old people.
Yep.
If we have 131 languages, that means we have so many different cultures. The basic subject
and you are hard
Filipinos
workers
to learn, aside from the concept of Kapwa.
And it's true. At first, you know, I did mention that some of you, you know, complain about how lazy your men can be. But it's also true that you guys are very hard workers, you know. And of course, some Filipino men are lazy, not all of them. But I have noticed myself that Filipinos are very, very hard workers.
How we are one is how rich we are in terms of cultural diversity. Knowing all kinds of Filipinos and their cultural genius. This is the best way to make the Filipinos proud of themselves, because the more Filipinos know about Kapwa, and the more they know about this diversity, how rich they are, the more they will love the country. And they will no longer fight against one another. They will have a strong sense of identity. They will know that all Filipinos are one.
Beautiful. Salamat po, sir, for the information. You know what I appreciated is that the word Kapwa, I really like it. I would love to include it somewhere. Maybe I'll just create a t-shirt with the word Kapwa in it, because it really does summarize the spirit of Filipinos. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts about this video. Maraming salamat po. And of course, if you found value in this video, do not hesitate to check out my other reaction videos right here.